So I try my hardest to be patient about every Raw and SmackDown review because that's all I've been doing on my channel. I just need to make a second channel. It's been nearly 80 videos of me doing this bullshit. A minuscule amount of them have been about different topics, but a majority of them are wrestling. And I hope to just do more than just wrestling. I need to recap the draft. I wanted to analyze the NBA playoffs. I want to do a lot of video games and shit. But more than that, I want to change up my shit because obviously doing wrestling is fun for me, but shit, didn't like this episode of SmackDown. Whatever. It ended up with a career recap of just several months into Kofi Kingston's triumphant underdog story of a guy that's not appealing to the eye of a world champion. This is just Daniel Bryan, except Daniel Bryan's not here. Didn't ask for a rematch because he's injured, and Kevin Owens has been waiting for a program since February. No, I think since March, when he returned, and he was in a triple threat match with Ali and Bryan that ended up with him coming up short, and he didn't even get a rematch. He wasn't even the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He wasn't even anywhere to be a threat. He had a few Kevin Owens shows to be in other storylines, so it can just be the instigator. And then we had Michael Cole just interviewing, just recapping what Kofi Kingston has done over the past couple months before and after WrestleMania, with him overcoming the odds. They did the same thing for Becky Lynch. It's like the first woman to become SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion. That makes her undisputed. That means it's one championship that every woman should be after. Thanks, it's both belts. What's so good? Because they look good wearing blue only? Fuck you. It just ended off with a big super kick out of nowhere by Xavier Woods when Kevin Owens just said that not even the fans or yourself think that you're championship material. Decent segue, decent opener, and it just ended up with Kevin Owens just super kicking Xavier Woods. When Xavier Woods been super kicked a bunch of times, and he didn't even get a weapon. He got iced up, and that's it. The backstage segment right in the middle, and that's a lot. That's a lot of segments. They do a lot of promos in the middle of matches over this entire show, and they don't know how to transition from after the segment to after a match. Then they show Xavier Woods being treated by Kofi Kingston. Then they do a promo involving Randy Orton and a lot of the other Money in the Bank participants. Then Aleister Black's sort of complex character instead of his own activities over what he has been doing. He's a former NXT champion. I suspect him to be a bit more threatening. Next, because I know he's just gonna win a few matches over some mid-carders in several months, and then after he's done with a big character, he's gonna start losing. It's rinse and repeat, Aleister. Join the Bray Wyatt Club. The match opener of the night was, of course, our women's champion, everybody. She was even Manami, usually addressed by the announcer, being the first woman to win both the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships in one night at WrestleMania. The fuck is that shit? In a decent match? How is this supposed to portray Becky Lynch as threatening against a babyface? And then you had Charlotte just come out of nowhere and just kick them out the ring, showing Charlotte still has a chip on her shoulder. Well, Ronda obviously doesn't want to do this bullshit every week. Next up was involving the Hardy Boys getting assaulted by Lars Sullivan because because of their injury Jeff Hardy suffered. They can't defend the belts, so they strip it away while Lars Sullivan gives them a send off for whatever the Hardy Boys might be doing. Then R-Truth comes with a steel chair. This was literally one of the better segments of the night. Next to Bray Wyatt, well, they recap the same shit on Raw, so I'm not going to count Bray Wyatt's little segment he had in the Firefly Funhouse. That just came with him with the Hardys and R-Truth being destroyed off Lars Sullivan and then hit with a diving headbutt. And then a power slam on R-Truth, then a power slam on Jeff Hardy when he struggled to leave the ring. Next up was Kairi Sane and Asuka versus some local competitors or just jobbers. They just beaten up some jobbers with the Absolution just there. I don't know why. I understand that you want to keep Paige on TV still, and she's still over. She still got a contract. But understand, I don't care about Kairi Sane and Asuka. They should be feuding on who's the top woman on SmackDown or something. This is the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. You're telling me that Asuka is just gonna fucking chill, just be in his tag team? She doesn't want a rematch for the SmackDown Women's Championship or anything else, or the tag titles. They don't even get number one contender shots. I don't care about the female Money in the Bank. They already failed at that. Next was a handicap match involving Roman Reigns, Shane McMahon stacking the odds with showing the B team from Raw facing off against Roman Reigns in a handicap match. I've barely seen that in a while. It was a decent handicap match. It was near fall after near fall, big move after a big move. Then Elias was shown as to be the substitute referee. Later on tonight, he tried to grab a guitar to come out and attack Roman Reigns with it, but it came with a diversion. He got Superman punched, and then eating a spear was Curtis Axel, and it came up with the 1-2-3 winner Roman Reigns. And this is supposed to be forcing a match with Elias and Roman Reigns for some apparent reason, all because he's affiliated with the McMahons. Next up was a tag team match involving the Money in the Bank participants. That is Randy Orton, Andrade, Ali, Mustafa Ali. I don't know what's wrong with just Mustafa Ali. It's simple. And Finn Balor, that are SmackDown participants coming in for the Money in the Bank briefcase match that they should have done from last year, but Money in the Bank for SmackDown was strictly SmackDown. Why? So they have Raw participants and SmackDown participants for one briefcase. That's fair enough. So, what would happen if we just end up with a 450 splash? There were some decent moves. It was mainly just holds. Ali would get some moves in. Then a big sling blade. If you've seen a Finn Balor match before, the most impressive guy in the entire match was literally Mustafa, because he's actually athletically gifted. Anything else, it was just the same crap. If you haven't seen Andrade and Finn Balor match up several times with just Randy Orton involved, because somehow Randy Orton is still relevant in this case, that he could still be a world champion threat. It would just end up with Ali getting a 450 splash and beating Andrade and Orton in a tag team match. Next up was involving Kofi Kingston attacking Kevin Owens in the Kevin Owens show and interviewing a action figure version of Biggie Langston that somehow was injured, and Xavier Woods getting super kicked and somehow not helping Kofi Kingston when he faced off against Kevin Owens by himself. They ended up with a brawl. Bloody, bloody, blah. That was it. That was SmackDown. You can see why I'm a bit upset, because I suspected a bit more of Kofi Kingston. Stop with this little, oh my god, Kofi Kingston won. He got through all the odds. I'm watching a TV show, bro. I'm not watching some little kid with an underdog story. I'm watching a grown man try to become world champion. He's supposed to be king of the mountain. He doesn't treat the WWE Championship that way. He treats the belt like it's just a prop now. He just treats the belt like it's just the New Day got a new belt, and Biggie Langston and Xavier Woods are not there, so that just showed Kofi Kingston is just Kofi Kingston with his segregation chest. The women's division is still relevant to this case. Thanks to unified the two belts, I don't know how long Becky Lynch is going to keep this up, especially with just interluding feuds coming from Lacey Evans on Raw, and she still has Charlotte to mess with on SmackDown. Thinks Becky Lynch is still a SmackDown superstar, but she has two belts. I think the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn feud is alright. I mean, Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston, I'm sorry. And I think Lars Sullivan just becoming a monster. Maybe he's gonna feud with, maybe have a hardcore match with R-Truth coming next week on SmackDown or something. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That's literally the only positives I have on SmackDown. At least I didn't see one half of the Iconics lose another one-on-one match, all because they're strictly jobbers if they're left alone. SmackDown got a 4 to 5 for me. It wasn't much. They should have done more to intrigue my attention. More backstage segments could have been worth it. They couldn't transition at all. This was still just a Raw recap, just displaying what the Firefly Funhouse shit was last night on Raw. So I'll go on Raw and talk about that soon. I mean, if you want to see the Raw review and see how I am on that, I really enjoyed it. I think this Firefly Funhouse gimmick with fucking Blue's Clues with Bray Wyatt could actually work for his character. And if this ends up with him being more threatening than he was the previous years, I wouldn't mind it. This actually is entertaining segments. So, I can't wait. Still, the SmackDown should have been way better. Kofi Kingston really sucked the fun out of me watching SmackDown. This was really crap. Thanks for watching, buddy.